All right, so for me, for 20th, I'm looking at my Serie. I want like Frosinone. I was like, oh, they're so bad. They're gonna go down in two leagues. All right. All right. So I have. I know like. Well, I'm not putting all three teams that came up to go down. Well, the only two teams came up, but I'm sorry. I was gonna.
Yeah.
It's the easy cop out. So I'm gonna put at 20. Darmstadt at 20.
Yeah.
Um, I just think they'll go down, and then in front of them I have FC Heidenheim.
Yeah.
Have them to go. Both those guys go down. We did that with both the farmer leagues, finding the Liga and the Bundesliga for them to go down. Well, I'm seeing yours yet, but that's what I did for mine there too.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
I'm telling you, like, wait, I feel like the logic does make sense though. Where like, if it's less teams, like, it's just harder for them to stay up. That's why, like, yeah, it makes sense to me.
yeah, exactly. Um, but yeah, so then I have them going down, and then in front at the relegation playoff, I put Bochum. I don't want to put Stuttgart there. They're kind of iffy.
Yeah.
They've been towards the bottom for recent years. They used to be a giant, but they kind of struggle now. But I don't put them at the
Yeah.
relegation playoff there. And then in front of
Yeah.
them, I have Stuttgart, so they survived the relegation playoff. Um,
Nice.
and then in front of them, I have Werder Bremen. I know that they were regulars, but then they went up at one point, but they're up at the moment still. And then in front of them, I have Cologne, who have done well to stay in this league for a while. They've been up here for a
Yeah.
while. In front of them, Augsburg, another team that's done well to stay up after coming up. Augsburg, I have them at
Yeah.
11, and then front at 10th, I have Mainz. Mainz,
Nice.
yeah, they haven't been as good as when they had Jurgen Klopp under the helm, but mine's still here.
Yeah.
Former Champions League club, but now they're mid-table. So at ninth, I have Hoffenheim.
Nice.
Who's have had their spells in the top of the table, but now they're in the mid-table area. And then in front of them, I have Wolfsburg, another team. It's funny. A lot of these
Yeah.
teams used to be like up at the top, and now they're like in the mid tables. So now we got
Literally.
other teams up here, which is funny.
Yeah.
And then at eight, I have Freiburg. That was in the mix for like the Europa League and all that. I have them
Yeah.
at eighth. And seventh, I don't know what you're gonna think about this, Brian. It may be controversial, but I have at seven Frankfurt.
Wow.
So the reason I have them so low is that they've lost some players. Um, so they lost Jabril So went to Sevilla. They
Yeah.
lost one of their players to Ajax. Indica went to Rome on a free.
Yeah.
And here's the big one. PSG supposedly are in talks to sign Randall Kolo Muani. So if he's
Oh
gone,
yeah.
he's their goals pretty much there in a nutshell. So they
No, I
haven't
thought.
done much.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought they said that was like basically almost done. Like,
It is. I
literally, like,
saw this morning
yeah.
that it's like that he already agreed terms. That it's just between them to like work
Yeah.
out the details.
Yeah.
Um,
And I know we just want to say that out there. I know we do these a little bit later, so like we do know some of the extra stuff. But he's been linked for like a little while now. I want to say it's
he's
like the
been
last
linked
couple of days. So
forever.
yeah.
Yeah, he's been linked forever on that
Yeah.
one.
So
Yeah, him and Goncalo Ramos been on that transfer list for a while now. But yeah, no, that's just
yeah.
true. I think. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like they'll get mid table because they're gonna lose a big piece there. But I mean, they did last season.
Yeah.
They did well last season when they lost like Kostic and stuff like that. So we'll see how it
Yeah.
goes. Um, but yeah, and then in front of them at sixth, I have Borussia Mönchengladbach. Yeah,
Nice.
so again, used to be regulars at the top. Always used to be competing
Yeah.
all the time with Dortmund, but they're not looking like the same powerhouse they used to be at one point.
Yeah.
Um, their signings are kind of mad to me. They brought in a couple players, but from like smaller teams, and I think their biggest signing is like Julian Weigl, in my opinion. He's kind of a little bit of washed up player.
Yeah.
Yeah, not really much really convinced me there, but yeah, I have them at sixth, and then I
Nice.
have fifth. I have Union Berlin. So I thought they did great last season. I should probably put them lower because I feel like they'll struggle with the UCL ball, which is crazy. They're gonna be playing UCL ball, which is crazy. Um, but yeah, they did good last year. I guess some people were saying that they overachieved, and I believe it. You know, like if you look at their squad, it doesn't really
Yeah.
scream Champions League, but here they are. They added Aronson to their squad, so that kind of sucks, I guess.
Yeah.
They brought in Kevin Volland.
They got in Gozmans
They
too,
did
I
get
believe.
go. They did get Gozens in, which is crazy. They have your
Yeah.
guy David Datro Fofana on loan.
No, I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they signed Diogo Leite from Porto. Yeah,
Yeah.
they made some decent moves, I suppose. Oh, they brought in Roussillon from Wolfsburg, which I thought was a big signing. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so that's who I have for them there. And for the top four, we got obviously the top four, these guys.
Yeah.
So at four, I'm going to put Dortmund. Um,
Wow.
yeah, I think they had their chance and they're done now. And I don't like all those reports saying that Jude Bellingham was like toxic in the Dortmund locker room and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
all his teammates just weren't trying to win, man. They're just like, we're in Bayern Shadow. We're just gonna stay in Bayern Shadow. We're just here to get paid, man. They're just here like, we're just here so we won't get fined. Um,
Literally.
Literally, like they got no ambitions in that club at all, and Jude Bellingham was their only one with ambitions of winning things. Now, like he's at Madrid with that winning DNA, winning mentality. He's fitting in well because everybody wants to win. They're not just
Yeah.
complacent with just doing the bare minimum. Um, but yeah, so that's who I have there at four. I just don't think they'll compete with the teams above them. That's why, not because they're like
Yeah.
bad. I mean, they lost Jude, which is a big piece, but I just feel like the other teams are ahead of them, like big time. And then in third, I have RB Leipzig. Um,
Mm.
even though they lost a couple players. They still have done well. Like they destroyed Bayern in that Super Cup.
Yeah.
And Leipzig always find a way to do well when teams take their players, they always find a way to do well all the time. So, like last year, they lost Kanate and Upamecano, and
Yeah.
which is their like main center backs, and they brought in Guardiola to replace those guys. Well, I'm sure I don't know if he was already there, but
Yeah.
he stepped in and took over for them because those guys were the starting center backs. But they
Yeah.
just always find a way to just make things work, and I think they'll do well. So they brought in Luke Keba from Lyon
Yeah.
to replace Guardiola. They have Xavi Simons on a loan, which is huge.
Yeah.
They signed a player from PSG. I'm not gonna pronounce his name because it sounds crazy. They brought in Openda from Lens,
Oh, I
or I
know. I
guess
think that was one of their
Lons.
bigger ones.
It
Yeah.
is 42 mil for Openda from Lons. I think that's how you say it. And they
Yeah.
brought in Fabio Carvalho on loan from Liverpool, which is a big one. They
Yeah.
brought in Baumgartner from Hoffenheim, which is like one of their better players, one of the best players. So
Yeah.
they've done some really good business. They brought in Oh no, that was last season. Like Diallo on loan, that was last season. But yeah, but they did well. They did very well to reinforce a lot of positions. So Leipzig, they're always just gonna have that money. But I
Yeah.
have them in third, and then in second, I have Bayer Leverkusen. So Bayer Leverkusen
No.
under um, Bayer Leverkusen under Xabi Alonso is just insane. Um, I love me that man, and I can't wait for him to be a Real Madrid coach because he's gonna be the next guy to bring us into the next five Champions Leagues or something like that. We'll see what happens, but
But they did lose their goat.
they did lose Diaby, they did, but I feel like they'll still do fine. He's a great coach. They'll find ways to replace him. So they brought in uh, they brought in some guy from like the Belgian league. Don't know who he is, but if you
Yeah.
see how he does, they brought in Granit Xhaka. They brought Jonas Hoffman from Mönchengladbach. They have Alex
Yeah.
Grimaldo on a free. Um, some
You know,
decent
you,
players.
you know what I did notice from the Bundesliga?
Yeah.
That they do a lot of transactions within themselves, like within that league.
They did. I was gonna say right now. I think like Bayern and all them all over there. They learned that the Bayern gets stronger by stealing all their team's best players from all the other teams. So they're like, you know what? Let's get in
Yeah.
on that too. Because I
Literally.
noticed that these guys like up here in the top like 5 or 6 are just stealing players from these lower teams. Leave them
Yeah.
alone, damn it! Leave
Yeah.
Hoffenheim alone. Leave Hoffenheim, Mönchengladbach, Wolfsburg. Leave them alone.
Yeah.
Just
Facts.
leave them alone. Okay, no, but yeah, I think Bayer Leverkusen did good. Even if they lost Diaby, Xabi Alonso did so well for them. They were like literally close to the drop last season, and he literally got them all the way up to the Champions League, which
Yeah.
is crazy. So, and they almost won the Europa League too. So
Yeah.
that would have been huge if they did. But yeah, so I have them in second. Obviously, everybody already knew. I should have done it as a meme and just put Bayern in first, just to begin. Like, you're just gonna get this over with and put them up right here, right
Yeah.
now. If I should have done that, but I didn't. But yeah, no, Bayern's gonna win the league, of course. Now they got Harry Kane. Come on, of course they're gonna win the league. Why wouldn't they win the league? If they don't win the league, it's the biggest controversy of all time. Like, it's no excuse.
Lit.
There is zero excuse for them to win the league. They brought in Harry Kane for 120 mil. They brought in Kim Min Jae for 50. They brought in Dortmund's one of Dortmund's players on the free once again. That's just always what they'd be doing. Like this is what I'm talking about, winning mentality. Instead of these, like, every time when it comes down to it, Dortmund players, instead of wanting to stay and compete with Dortmund, not me with Dortmund, with Bayern, they literally like, oh,
Yeah.
Bayern want me? Say less. Off we go.
Yeah.
Like, they'll literally just jump ship and go and they'll win. I'm like, dude, instead of trying to like dethrone them, you want to join them, but whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they got Conrad Lamer from Leipzig. Leipzig were dumb. They should have just sold him because they were trying to buy him last season, but they didn't want to sell to them, and he just came on a free anyway. So Leipzig are freaking idiots. So
Yeah.
so I don't know what they're doing there, but yeah. So they're still iffy about what they're gonna do with the goalkeeper situation because I know they got rid of Summer, and I don't know who they're gonna bring in. They don't want to like disrespect Neuer because he's been there forever, and I think that's great and all, but they gotta figure something out. Like they can't be
Yeah.
um they can't have the same old goalkeeper in net if he's not reliable to them. But they did have some outgoings. Daily Blend. They lost Daily Blend, went to Girona on a free. Sabitzer went to Dortmund. Mane went to Saudi, but he already had some beef in the locker room. But this is what shows you so far in the recent years, the only Liverpool player that's left Liverpool and been good has been Suarez. Every other one literally always does horrible, and they always kind of live to regret it. Like in recent years.
Yeah.
So Mane wanted to leave to Bayern so bad. He had that feud with Sane, and it didn't go well. He ended up him going out the door.
And he was also struggling with injuries there too, wasn't
Yeah, he was exactly. And then another player was like when Wijnaldum when he left. He literally went to
yeah.
PSG for that money, and he didn't play at all, and he was just on the bench.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, well, I don't know, man. That's what you wanted, so yeah.
Yeah, dude's career died quick, but
Yeah. But yeah, so that is my list.
nice.
Yeah, so if you want to go ahead and you can start your own list and see how it differs from mine. Let me reset it.
Yeah, well, you're gonna notice something very quickly, like very, very quickly. Just letting you know. See if you can spot it. All right, so 18, I got Darmstadt. Yeah, the team that just came up, and
Yeah.
17th I got Heidenheim. Just because, like, I'm telling you, dude, like I'm gonna keep saying it over and over again. That logic of the 18th like teams. Whenever like two come up, I feel like it's just so much harder because like now you're facing like the teams that are barely scraping instead of like the obvious. teams that are gonna go down, so like gives you less of a chance.
Yeah.
16th, I got Bochum. 15th, I got
You know what's
Stuttgart.
funny? Wait,
Uh,
did I put Botcham here?
you're noticing it.
Okay, I did. Okay, I was tripping. I was like, did I? I was like,
Yeah,
I was.
I told you you're gonna notice something very
Okay,
quickly.
that's funny. Oh yeah,
15th, I put Stuttgart, or however you say their name.
yeah, Stuttgart,
Yeah. Third or 14th, I got Werder, whatever their name
Werder
is.
Bremen.
Yeah,
Their
Werder Bremen.
V's, their W's or V's.
Yeah. Then 13th, I got Cologne. Cologne.
It's Cologne, like Cologne.
Yeah. Then 12th, I got Augsburg. And this is where I think I want to stop it like right there. I don't know if you've noticed. I want to say every single one of those that I had, you had exactly. So that's
That's
why I was just
funny.
like dying whenever you were saying it out loud. Because I was just like, what are the odds that this is the league that it goes the same?
Yeah,
But it does change. So yeah, but for a second when you were saying it, I was just like in my head, I was just like, dude, if we get the whole league exactly the same, that would be freaking hilarious. So then 11th, I got Hoffenheim. 10th, I got Mainz. Ninth, I got Mönchengladbach. I know you had them a little higher, so like that
I
was one of the teams
did.
that I didn't think. Yeah,
Mönchengladbach are just always like those guys, or just those in the mix. They're like the dark horse of this league every year. So
yeah,
I just highly rate Mönchengladbach. Surprisingly, they always for some reason Dortmund can't beat them. So they always just either Dortmund always either get destroyed or they come or it's like a crazy like 3-3 or 4-4 draw. So, but yeah,
yeah, yeah. So then, eighth, I got Wolfsburg, which is funny because leaving seventh, I also have Frankfurt, and you're all saying you're like, this might be a draw because I have Frankfurt seven. And I was just like, I
oh
have them
wow,
too.
that's
And
funny.
I was literally like, I'm telling you, during your thing, I was just dying the whole time because I was just like, dude, it's funny.
That is funny.
So then sixth, I got Freiburg, and then fifth, this one might be a shock to you. I got Leverkusen, and you're gonna know very quickly that like. Yeah, my thing might be a little boring, just letting you know. Like, I'm pretty sure you might be able to predict it from here on out. That's all I'm gonna say. But I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I just, I know you have a lot of faith in them because they do got Xabi Alonso, but like, I don't know. I don't really have that much faith, and I think these upper teams just have like too much money and like they've spent so much. Where like, I don't know. I didn't really see Leverkusen make two big signings, and they did lose Diaby. I know he might not be like they're Cristiano Ronaldo, but like he is still very, very good. So then fourth, I got Union Berlin. I was actually happy with Union Berlin's transfer window. I think they had one of the better ones in the Bundesliga. I'm not gonna lie. I was like a huge fan of their Gozen signing or their Vollen signing. So that's why they were fourth. I can easily, I'm not gonna lie, and I don't want to jinx them, but I can see them even being like third. So we'll see how it goes for them. But third in this scenario that I had on my paper, I got RB Leipzig, and they did get. I was the second big or team that I was like really happy with their signings was Leipzig, because I'm a huge fan of Openda. They did get the Lukebka guy. They also got Sesko. There was another couple that you mentioned, but yeah, they did a lot of movement. However, this is why I can see them going fourth. I genuinely think like their big trio of the Gavardio, Nkunku, and Sabozlai were like really big losses. And like I don't know if like some of these signings I was a really big fan of, but like I don't know if they're good enough to keep them like so high up. So that's why like I can see them dropping down. I think you also had them a little low.
Ooh,
So yeah, RB
I
Leipzig.
had them too.
Read in.
Yeah, I did. No, no, I
Three
had him. No, no, no,
Leverkusen
no,
three.
no, I'm tripping. No, no, I'm tripping. I had him
Yeah,
at three. I had him at three. My bad.
yeah, yeah. I was about to say I think you had them like around the same or a little
No,
lower, but
yeah, I
yeah.
did. I had him
So
at three. Yeah.
yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I can see them going lower to like fourth, but I mean it is what it is. Second, I put him here only because if I was there's always like that one team that you like in the league, and for me it was always Dortmund. Mainly because a lot of Chelsea boys came from there, and just because like a lot of players that I like used to be there. Like I used to be a really big fan of Royce, so I'm sad they didn't win the league last year. But I do think the last year was like their window, and I don't think they'll get it again. But I don't think they'll be that bad to where they drop out of like the top three.
Yeah.
However, we'll see how big of a loss that Jude sell to Madrid was because like that dude's popping off with Madrid right now. And like, yeah, so we'll just it's starting to look like they're gonna make well, not make because he was gonna leave regardless, but like it was a very, very, very huge loss for them. They also did lose Guerrero, however you say his name. He has so many R's in his name. Yeah,
It's not
so
even,
they did
it's
lose
gets
that guy,
it's Guerrero. It's not even that crazy.
Guerrero. I swear he has like 6 R's in his name. Like, but anyways, so then they did lose him, but I'm still like a really big fan of their team. I think they're still good and they still compete, but obviously they're not going to be number one because that's Bayern. And I mean, they did get Harry Kane, but like I feel like they're going to win the league even without Harry Kane. I'm not going to lie. So
Oh yeah,
I feel like
definitely.
they're just too much money. It's like they're always going to win that league no matter what it is, even if like literally last year you thought it was actually Dortmund's chance and they were like not choking, but Bayern Munich just wasn't like performing that much early on just to come back and they're just like, you know what? We're like, all right, let's just start trying a little bit now. And they're like, I know these guys got a little bit of faith, but no, it is what it is. Bayern Munich's just always gonna win. So I think that Harry Kane signing to me what it was more just like a solidification of where they were gonna freaking end off because like I think we were all pretty positive they're gonna end first, but like after that Harry Kane, it's just like no, 100% they're ending off first. And if there's no way, or if they lose, Harry Kane will forever be trolled for the rest of his life. Like that dude will just be known as the guy that can't win anything. So it is what it is. But yeah, that was mine, and I think the top can. I'm not gonna lie. I think the top can change this year. But besides Bayern Munich, I think Bayern's like obviously number one. But I can see the two, three, and four switching up a little bit. I can see there being a little bit of movement. But yeah, I just find it very hilarious that like this league was actually like pretty close towards. Let's be like obviously besides the top because I think the top we did have a little bit of movement in ours. But the lower freaking teams were like hilarious because I just didn't expect what's it called to have like the same teams as me.
Oh
But
yeah, I
yeah.
know what you mean. Um,
Yeah, that was mine.
yeah. Um, I'm a little shocked.
Mm.
I'm a little shocked that you put Union Berlin in fourth because they're playing UCL, and I just don't think they'll be able to compete. Like you said, you like their transfers and all, but I just don't
Yeah.
know if they'll be able to repeat it. You know, like hey, I mean, I'm all for it. I like seeing
Yeah.
a little mix up in the top four, but I mean, I don't know. I just can't see them. I just can't see them with all that stuff going on being able to compete in the league as well. Cause like they dipped a bit last season when I think they were in I think they were in conference or Euro. I don't know if they were in European football last year actually. I can't
Yeah.
remember, but they're
Well,
gonna
you know what's funny?
dip for sure. What,
That I forgot they were in that. So it is what it is. Though. They're
bruh?
staying there
I
now.
figured I was like, why would you put them so high? Like they're gonna literally be in the Champions League.
Well, you don't know. They can win the league this year. You never know.
I mean, I think their chances last year and they kind
Yeah.
of fumbled it a bit, so I don't think that's gonna happen. But
Well, it is what it is. I ain't gonna change it. It'll stay there.
exactly, it's fine. I'm saying
Yeah.
that's why I put them so low because I just couldn't see them being able to compete with that stuff. Usually when teams like this go into the Champions League, they always struggle to compete with their league, so they'll fall off a bit. They'll dip a little bit. You know, like
Yeah.
how do you think Sevilla always manages to be in the Champions League? Because they'll make the Champions League, they'll dip in form La Liga, they'll drop into the Europa League, win it, and they'll go back to Champions League. That's how they end up going
Yeah.
back
Not
in.
wrong.
Not because of the league table, but because of like them winning the actual cup themselves. You know.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that Union Berlin were. I'm pretty sure that they were in the they were in the Europa League last year. They were in the Europa League and can't remember how far they made it, but they might have got I think they got knocked out pretty early on by like Union Saint Gilloise. Yeah, they
Yeah,
got knocked out pretty early on, but yeah, like they got knocked out pretty early on last season, and they still and they dipped a bit too, because I remember they were like pushing, they were pushing Bayern for the league for a while, and then they just kind of slowed down a bit. But
yeah,
but yeah, but yeah, we'll see how our tables go. But that's it, guys. That is the last of our table, so we can go back to just talking about the events around the world and what goes on.